I can get the time when they gonna go do it, so y'all can catch me in the act. I know.
Who's the target?
One guess.
I mean, Lucci locked up.
Yeah.
So how?
Young Thug and YFN Lucci just stepped back into the spotlight after being away for a while, and the internet is losing its mind. These two have been known for a long-running rivalry that once divided fans and even shook the Atlanta rap scene. But now, the second they're both back in the city, they show up in the same club, side by side, smiling, like the tension from the past never existed. That moment had everyone talking. Videos started circulating showing the two appearing friendly, but not everyone was celebrating this sudden peace. One name that keeps coming up in all the online chatter is Lil Woody, someone who's been publicly linked to YSL for years. He's reportedly not happy about this reunion at all. Word online is that Woody's been vocal, expressing frustration and confusion about why things are being smoothed over so easily. To really understand why this situation has people talking, you have to know how deep the YSL and YFN tension once ran. This wasn't just about music, it was about pride, loyalty, and reputation in the Atlanta rap scene. For nearly a decade, fans watched things unfold through lyrics, interviews, and rumors, a real back and forth that made headlines and fueled endless debate. At one time, though, it wasn't like this. Young Thug and YFN Lucci were actually cool with each other. They were two talented artists coming up at the same time, both pushing Atlanta's sound to new levels. Somewhere along the line, though, things shifted. What started as mutual respect reportedly turned into rivalry, and that rivalry became one of hip-hop's most talked about storylines. Now, with both men back and seen together again, everyone's wondering, is this a real truce or just temporary peace before things heat up again? Either way, the city's watching closely. Lil Woody was known for being deeply loyal to YSL, always standing by the team and representing their movement in Atlanta's music scene. During the YSL RICO trial, his name came up several times in connection to serious allegations. Court documents and reports mentioned his alleged involvement in various street-related incidents, though nothing has been proven in court. One of the most discussed claims was that Woody had knowledge of a dispute connected to the long-standing tension between YSL and YFN. What really caught people's attention, though, was that despite all the rumors and claims floating around, Woody was never convicted of any major crime. He managed to stay out of jail and kept a low profile for a while, which only added to the mystery surrounding him. Meanwhile, both Young Thug and YFN Lucci found themselves caught up in a major federal case under RICO charges, a sweeping legal action that targeted both crews at once. It marked one of the biggest cases in Atlanta's hip-hop history, drawing national attention and dominating headlines for months. The stakes were high. Young Thug faced potentially life-changing charges, while Lucci was also looking at serious time. As the trials went on, the rap community was glued to every update, wondering what would happen next. But then, something unexpected happened. Both artists seemed to reflect on how far things had gone. Reports suggested they began to realize that the long rivalry, the tension, and the chaos that came with it had cost too much. Eventually, both Thug and Lucci reached separate legal resolutions and were released. When that news broke, fans and media alike started speculating. What would happen when both men were finally free again? Would the rivalry continue, or had time and reflection changed everything? The city was holding its breath, waiting to find out. Nobody could believe what happened next. A video hit the internet and instantly went viral, showing Young Thug and YFN Lucci in the same club, side by side, smiling, laughing, and sharing a genuine moment like longtime friends. Fans couldn't stop talking about it. After years of tension, seeing these two together felt unreal. For many people, it was a powerful sight, a moment of growth and maturity. After everything that happened, it looked like both artists were choosing peace over drama, showing that life's too short to hold on to negativity. Atlanta's music community needed this kind of energy, and people were calling it a new chapter for the city's culture. But not everyone saw it that way. Lil Woody, who has long been associated with YSL, reportedly felt frustrated by the sudden reunion. To him, this was hard to process. It didn't sit right after everything that had happened over the years. When he appeared on DJ Vlad's platform, he didn't hold back his feelings. During the interview, Vlad mentioned the viral video and talked about how positive it was to see Thug and Lucci back together again, describing it as a good moment for Atlanta. Woody didn't exactly agree. His reaction was sharp and passionate. "You have a problem with that? You damn right." He went on to question the timing, asking why it took so long for both sides to find peace. Why did things have to go so far before deciding to make peace and move forward? Woody's words sparked another wave of discussion online, reminding everyone just how deep this story still runs in the Atlanta rap scene. You could really hear the emotion in Woody's voice during that interview. Frustration, disappointment, and pain all mixed together. He spoke about how many people's lives had been changed forever because of this long-standing tension. Families were hurt, friendships were lost, and countless young people ended up facing tough consequences because of choices made during those years. Woody explained that he never wanted things to go that far. "I come from this environment," he said, "but I didn't want to have problems with anyone. We were friends once. Lucci isn't an enemy to me, but some people got too selfish and showed the world how selfish they really are." His words struck a chord with a lot of listeners who understood how deep this story ran. What Woody said next hit even harder. He brought up something that many in the culture rarely discuss: how conflicts in the music industry don't just affect the artists involved, they ripple out, touching people behind the scenes, the ones working hard to prove loyalty or protect reputations. When big names finally make peace, it can leave others wondering what all the struggle was really for. Then came the most surprising part of all. Woody claimed that before things ever got this serious, he had actually spoken with young Thug about trying to calm everything down. According to him, he told Thug directly, "Man, this isn't worth it. I'm going to talk to them and try to make peace." That revelation changed the tone completely. It made people realize that even in the middle of chaos, there were voices trying to bring calm, and that maybe, just maybe, this story could have gone a very different way. According to Woody, there was actually a moment when both sides were open to peace. He claimed that people from the other camp were ready to sit down and talk, not out of fear, but because they realized Atlanta's real power was in unity and success, not conflict. The city thrives when everyone's focused on music, business, and growth, not rivalries. But things didn't go that way. Instead of finding common ground early on, the tension reportedly kept building, turning into one of the most intense feuds in the Atlanta rap scene. And now, after years of drama, legal battles, and public fallout, both Young Thug and YFN Lucci have been seen together again, seemingly at peace. To Woody, that sudden change felt hard to accept. He expressed his frustration, saying that after everything that's happened, it seemed unfair that it took this long for peace to be the priority. "Y'all in the club celebrating now because y'all made it through the trials, but where was this energy before?" His comments had fans online debating whether he had a point. Was this moment genuine reconciliation or just good optics? Then DJ Vlad brought up something many people had been wondering about when the video of Thug and Lucci surfaced. During the height of their feud, reports surfaced about incidents that allegedly affected people close to both artists. That reminder made the whole situation feel even more complicated, especially for those who had been impacted along the way. The tension, the reflection, and now the reunion, it's all left fans questioning what's real peace and what's just public image. People online couldn't stop asking the same question: how could there ever be peace after everything that supposedly went down? During his interview, Woody handled that topic carefully. He explained that years ago there were reports of an incident involving YFN Lucci's family home while Lucci was out on tour in city. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the news caused a major stir at the time and added tension to an already heated situation. Woody mentioned that Young Thug later released a song with lyrics that fans online connected to that event. The track included a controversial line that many believed referenced Lucci's family, though Thug never confirmed who the lyric was about. Woody made sure to clarify that Thug himself was not directly tied to the situation. Still, in the world of hip-hop and street culture, people often hold leaders accountable for the actions of those around them. That's what Woody was referring to when he said that perception matters, even when facts aren't fully clear. So when footage of Thug and Lucci appearing together surfaced, it caused mixed emotions for a lot of people. Some saw it as growth and forgiveness. Others, like Woody, saw it as hard to believe after everything that had been said and rumored over the years. Woody summed it up in a calm but emotional way. "I don't got nothing against Lucci, and I love Thug. I don't got nothing against either one of them. I just don't like how this whole situation was handled." His words hit deep because they showed loyalty and disappointment. Loyalty to where he came from, and disappointment in how things ended up. For many listeners, it was a reminder that behind every headline, there are real people, real emotions, and a lot of unfinished healing still waiting to happen.
For Woody, there's a major difference between putting an end to conflict and becoming best friends again.
During his interview, he explained that if Young Thug and YFN Lucci came home and simply agreed to stop the negativity and move on peacefully, that would have been huge progress. But seeing them hang out together publicly after everything that had happened felt different to him. He put it plainly, "You think I'm gonna hang with one of these dudes after all that? Nah, that's not how it goes. It's no bad blood, but we're not cool either." That honest statement immediately set off a firestorm online. The conversation around this interview split the community right down the middle. Some people supported Woody's perspective, saying they understood why he felt the way he did. Others, though, believed Thug and Lucci were showing real maturity by letting go of the past and focusing on peace, success, and growth. Supporters of Thug and Lucci's reunion say it's exactly what hip-hop needs right now: less division and more unity. They see this as a moment where two major artists who went through years of personal and legal challenges are showing that peace is possible. After all, both men faced serious RICO cases, both spent time behind bars, and both watched close friends distance themselves during those tough times. So for many fans, seeing them move past all that is inspiring, proof that change can happen. But on the flip side, people who share Woody's views say it's not that simple. To them, this kind of reconciliation might feel like a slap in the face to those who were affected during the years of conflict, people who made sacrifices or faced lasting consequences because of the tension between the two camps. So now, the debate continues. Is this a powerful symbol of peace and maturity, or a move that feels too sudden to be real? No matter where people stand, one thing's clear: this story still has Atlanta talking loud. There are still families out there dealing with the effects of everything that happened, and for many, it's something that can't easily be forgotten. Now that the main figures involved are showing peace and unity, some people feel it's unfair, like the past is being brushed aside too quickly. The streets have been buzzing with opinions, and social media has turned it into a full-blown debate. Some fans are calling Woody out, saying he's just bitter or can't move on. But others believe he's being one of the few to speak honestly about how complicated this situation really is. His words hit differently because he's been close to it all, and when someone like him speaks up, people pay attention. Still, there's concern about how far his words might go. Woody's been very outspoken in interviews, saying the peace between YSL and YFN Lucci doesn't seem genuine to him, and calling it disrespectful to everyone who once stood behind those names. That kind of public statement can be risky, especially when it involves old rivalries and emotions that haven't fully cooled off. Observers are pointing out that Woody's comments could unintentionally stir up feelings that were just starting to calm down. But beyond the controversy, this whole situation shines a light on a bigger issue in the culture. What happens when people at the top decide to make peace after years of division, while others are still dealing with the aftermath? Woody's story reminds everyone that when conflicts play out publicly, the effects reach far beyond just the main artists. The people behind the scenes, the ones who supported, worked, and stood by them, often feel the deepest impact. And when peace finally comes, it doesn't always come evenly for everyone involved. So now the big question is, will this moment bring real unity, or will it leave old wounds open? Whatever happens next, the entire hip-hop world is watching closely. There are still people who haven't fully healed from what went down during those years. Some are still dealing with the emotional fallout, others are still facing consequences from choices made back then. Meanwhile, the main figures at the center of it all have moved forward, focusing on peace and new beginnings. For Woody, that's something that can't be forgotten overnight. He's speaking for everyone who can't just move on because they lived through the hardest parts of it. Woody explained that he stood by Young Thug for years and cared deeply about him, but that same loyalty has left him conflicted now as he watches decisions being made that he doesn't fully agree with. That's a heavy emotional space to be in when someone you supported makes moves that challenge what you believed in. It's the kind of inner tension that doesn't get talked about much, especially in hip-hop culture. This whole situation also highlights the complicated meaning of loyalty in the world of rap and street life. For some, loyalty means standing by your people no matter what. For others, it means speaking up when something feels wrong. Woody's comments show just how blurry that line can get when emotions, history, and reputation are all involved.
Then there's the way fans and media consume these moments. For people on the outside, seeing Thug and Lucci together might look like a beautiful moment of growth and maturity, a sign that peace is possible even after years of tension. But for those who lived through it, who lost opportunities, relationships, or loved ones during that time, it hits in a much deeper way. It's a reminder that what we often see as entertainment, rap battles, public feuds, lyrical exchanges, can have real-life consequences behind the scenes. These aren't just storylines or viral moments, they're connected to real people and real emotions. Right now, the atmosphere around this situation is still tense. Woody has shared his truth on a major platform, and everyone's watching to see what happens next, whether this moment becomes a step toward real understanding or just another spark in a story that refuses to fade away. Millions of people have now seen Woody's interview. His comments questioning the peace between Young Thug and YFN Lucci are everywhere online. The clip has spread across social media, with fans debating non-stop about what he said and what it might mean. The big question now is, what happens next? So far, both Thug and Lucci have remained completely silent. They haven't publicly addressed Woody's remarks, and they haven't responded to the interview in any way. They're just continuing to move forward with their careers, staying focused on music and business. Maybe they feel like speaking on it would only add fuel to the fire. Or maybe they believe everyone's entitled to their own opinion and that the best response is to keep things peaceful and professional. But in street culture, silence can be taken in a lot of different ways. Some people see it as a sign of maturity, proof that they're done with the drama and focused on growth. Others, however, might see it as brushing off the people who once stood beside them when things were tough. That's where things get complicated. What's making the situation even more talked about is how Woody's words could influence others who feel the same way but haven't spoken up yet. When one person publicly questions something like this, it can give confidence to others to share their own thoughts. Suddenly, a quiet disagreement can start turning into a full-blown public conversation. That's why some fans are watching closely, not because they expect tension to return, but because they know how quickly opinions and emotions can spread online. One clip, one quote, one post can reshape how people view everything. Still, there's hope that this all stays where it is, just words, just perspectives, and not something that turns negative. If anything, it could open the door for deeper conversations about loyalty, forgiveness, and how the culture can move forward without repeating old mistakes. For now, all eyes are on Thug, Lucci, and Woody, three names forever tied together in Atlanta's hip-hop history. Whatever happens next will say a lot about where the culture goes from here. Another important detail in all this is that both Young Thug and YFN Lucci are still reportedly under some form of supervision, probation, or legal monitoring, which means they have every reason to stay out of any kind of drama. If any conflict were to happen and somehow get linked back to them, it could seriously jeopardize their freedom. So whether by choice or circumstance, they have strong motivation to keep things calm and peaceful right now. But then there are people like Lil Woody, individuals who aren't under those same restrictions and who might still carry emotional weight from everything that's happened. Some feel overlooked, others feel misunderstood or even betrayed by how things turned out. That's where the unpredictability comes in. It's not necessarily about violence, but about emotions that haven't been resolved. When those feelings bubble up in public conversations, it can lead to tension within the culture that takes time to unpack. At the core, this entire situation is revealing something deep about hip-hop and street culture. Peace is powerful, but it's not always simple. Forgiveness is necessary, but it takes time. Moving on is smart, but it doesn't erase what came before. Woody's comments, even if controversial, touch on real questions that people often avoid talking about. How do you make peace when so many have already paid such a high emotional or personal price? How do you tell someone to move forward when they've lost so much along the way? And how do you expect the people who once stood behind the leaders to accept new beginnings when they still feel the weight of the past? There are no easy answers to any of that. But one thing is certain, these are conversations that hip-hop needs to keep having. The culture can't grow without honest dialogue about accountability, forgiveness, and the impact that public rivalries have on real people.
If this moment sparks those deeper talks, maybe something good can come out of all the pain and confusion. Because at the end of the day, understanding each other, even when it's uncomfortable, is the only real path toward lasting peace. At the end of the day, we've got to remember what truly matters: peace. But peace doesn't mean pretending the pain never existed. Real healing starts when we can acknowledge everything that came before it and still choose to grow. For Young Thug and YFN Lucci, hopefully this moment marks real maturity, a chance to show they've learned from their past and are ready to lead with wisdom instead of rivalry. If they use their platforms to guide the next generation away from conflict and toward success, that could be one of the biggest wins Atlanta's ever seen. And for Lil Woody, it's clear he's still processing everything: the loyalty, the frustration, and the emotional scars from his experiences. Whatever path he takes next, hopefully it's one that brings him peace too. Everyone involved in this story deserves the space to grow, reflect, and heal in their own way. Because at the end of the day, behind all the headlines and viral clips, these are real people dealing with real emotions and real consequences. That's something we should never forget. Now, what do you think? Is this a true moment of growth for everyone involved, or just a temporary truce? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive like this.